My wife secretly named our son after her first love. When her friend exposed the truth, my wife's chilling confession left me speechless and shattered, plus 3 updates. I'm using a throwaway account because my wife knows my main one. My son is 5 years old. About 2 days ago, we were out shopping and ran into a high school friend of hers. She was catching up when she told her friend that we had a son. When the old friend asked his name, my wife hesitated, so I told her. The friend had a strange look on her face, then said, "You mean like your ex-boyfriend?" Our son's name is very unique, to the point that I've never met another person with the same name. Now, my wife refuses to talk to me about it. I feel betrayed and disgusted with her. It's like a switch was flipped in my mind, and I just can't look at her the same way. Update, I wanted to answer a few common questions that have been mentioned. First, I'm not giving out my son's name. When we discussed the name, I had no idea it was her high school ex's name. I knew she had one boyfriend in high school, and their relationship lasted around 2 years, but his name was never told to me. Also, I'm upset, but that doesn't automatically make me abusive. I would never raise my hand to my wife or anyone else I care about. And I want to be clear, I will always love my son. I would never, and I mean never, treat him any differently. I will post another update when I talk to her, probably in a day or 2. Update, so to get some things out of the way first, the kid is mine. I have very pronounced features that he also has, plus her ex was black and I'm white. Also, I'm not going to throw him away, as so many comments suggested. When we were deciding on the name, she said she remembered somebody from school who had it and instantly loved it. My wife and I both had a very promiscuous past before we met and agreed that the past should stay there, so I didn't push too hard to know certain details. I knew she had one boyfriend in high school who cheated on her, but I never asked his name, and that is my fault. So, it's time for the update. We didn't have the discussion on Thursday because that is her late day at work. Plus, this wasn't a discussion I wanted to have with our son in the house. So Thursday night when she came in, I told her that on Friday after work we needed to sit down and talk, and if she had any plans she needed to cancel. She looked very worried and said okay. Friday came, and we sat down after her sister came to pick up our son for a sleepover. I asked why she would not tell me where our son's name came from. She said she was sorry, but she didn't think it was that big of a deal and she thought I would not agree to it. I told her that it was my choice too, and she took that away from me. I asked her if she would feel the same way if we had a daughter and named her after one of my exes, and she said, "That's different, I wouldn't let that happen." She said that she knows she can disconnect the name from her ex, but she wouldn't be sure I could do the same. I was floored and starting to feel sicker than I had ever felt. I told her that is one of the stupidest things I have ever heard come out of someone's mouth. I moved on because I had more questions, and I was about to go off on what she had just said. I asked her if she still loved him. She paused for a minute, then said, "Yes, but not in the same way I love you. You don't just stop loving someone. That love changes." I wanted to throw up at this point. She could see that I was very upset. She smiled at me and said I should know she only wants to be with me. I said that I needed to know how she loved him. At that point, she put her hand on my leg and tried to change the subject. I told her, "Take your freaking hand off me right now and answer the question." Her mood changed right there, from wanting to move past this to an attitude of, he did not just curse at me. She said, "Look, you're upset and I get that, but what is done, so you need to get over this and move on." She got up and said, "I'm meeting my mom for dinner. I'll see you when you get home." I told her, "If you walk out that door, then no you won't." She looked at me like I was full of it, grabbed her purse, and left. I packed my bag and stayed at a friend's house last night. Right now, I'm just sitting here trying to figure out what to do next. Update. So, I want to start out by saying thank you for all the support. Most of you have been great, with the exception of a few trolls. I came home the next day after staying the night somewhere else. She didn't really say much to me other than hey, and went back to messing around on her laptop. I went upstairs, put my things in the guest room, and laid down to take a nap because I didn't get much sleep the night before. She came in and asked what I was doing. I told her that until she's ready to sit down and have an adult conversation about the name, I would be sleeping in here. She rolled her eyes and said that she thought I had gotten over it. She asked why I even bothered to come home if I was going to act like this. I told her, "Because it is my home, and I'm not going to miss out on time with my son just because you don't have the ability to tell right from wrong, or at least admit it." She stormed off, and that was that for that day. The next day, I came home from work and she was on the couch waiting for me. She asked what it was going to take for us to get back to normal. I told her that we would need to see a marriage counselor first, and we needed to consider changing our son's name to his middle name. The look of rage on her face when I said that last part was something I don't think I've ever seen before. I hate to say it, but it made me a little happy to see it. She told me to go screw myself, that it was never going to happen, and stormed off. We didn't talk for the rest of that day. The next day rolled around and my wife hadn't gotten home from work yet. Someone started knocking on the door, and it was her parents. They said we needed to talk, so I invited them in and we sat down. They said they know what she did was wrong and that they always knew. Apparently, so did her whole family and all her friends. They apologized to me for keeping it a secret and said that they agree with counseling and they would be happy to pay for it. But they also said that changing his name is going too far. I told them thank you, and that I hadn't made that decision without a lot of consideration. I told them that you really don't know what you would do until you're in this situation. After a little more talking, they left and asked me not to tell my wife they had stopped by. I agreed. Shortly after they left, I called around and found a counselor and made an appointment that worked with both our work schedules. When my wife came home, I told her about the appointment, and she just walked off without saying a word. Our appointment is Thursday, and I'm still sleeping in the guest room. That's what's been going on so far. Thank you guys, and I'll try to update you again when I can. As an edit, I just want to say I'm not just going to up and change his name. It's something I'm considering. I want to talk to the counselor first to see what impact it might have, if any, and how to go about it if there are none. Final update. A while later, I was on a different thread where someone asked what the most uncomfortable moment of my life was. I told them it was when my wife's high school friend spilled the beans about us naming our son after her former boyfriend. After that, I also confirmed what many people were probably wondering. We ended up getting a divorce.